Do you sometimes feel like you know the things you're supposed to do, but for some reason you just don't do it and you beat yourself up about it? Well, that is me right now. Hi, if you're new here, hello, I'm Aisha, a female engineering student that's currently just working towards building a more intentional and creative life. My relationship with productivity is the most unhealthy it's been for the past God knows how long. It feels like being in this rut academically, creatively, productively, and that has to change. So I've asked myself a few questions. Why is my relationship with productivity that difficult? What are habits that I'm doing right now that's not productive? And what do I want to change about it? As well as where do I see myself in the next few weeks once I've taken action and changed my habits? I genuinely feel like it's because I don't have a clear schedule. I think I'm someone who likes to be very organized, and the lack of organization in the terms of having a schedule or having a timetable, if you want to say, to follow is genuinely affecting me. Let me describe my typical day, like since the summer started. Wake up at 9:30 a.m, say freshen up, pray. If I'm in the mood, go for a run. If I'm not, don't go for a run. Go downstairs, have breakfast, or look for something to have. Sometimes I don't find anything, and then I'm right at the screen, maybe eating the breakfast or just waiting whilst thinking for what to eat. And before I know it, time has flown by and it's currently like 4 p.m. And after that, you've not done anything, so your body is just getting accustomed to that state, and you just don't end up doing anything for the rest of the day. Or even if you do, say you feel guilty about 6 p.m. and you're like, you know what, I've not done anything, I need to actually get started and do something, then maybe you can pick up one or two things and do it. But technically, that's the whole day gone. And at this point, I feel like my desk has just been collecting dust or just like random pieces of clothing. And I feel like things have to change. Number one is staying awake until the late hours of the night, or should I say morning, to be fair. I remember one time staying awake till about 5 a.m. I know, don't shoot the messenger, but I am the messenger and the person that did it. However, I feel like that is absolutely atrocious. That should not be a thing that you do. That is a very bad and disgusting habit that can literally ruin your whole day. So imagine this, if I stay awake till 5 a.m. and I say I wake up 9 a.m. So that's like just 4 hours, 30 minutes of sleep, and then I'm back again at the screen. That is just a horrible routine, and that needs to change. The second habit that I would want to say is not going out enough. You know, I'm a homebody. I can't lie, I'm literally a homebody. I love my space. I love being in my room. I love like having things to myself. And going out, for me, there's this kind of barrier. I don't know what it is. Like I have to meet people, I have to speak to people. My social level runs low. Like when I speak to too many people at once or just speak to too many people, I get drained. And I know that, but sometimes you just need to go out and touch grass, man. The air you get outside is definitely different than the air that you get when you're indoors. And I need a bit of fresh air. I need to touch grass. So I guess what I'll be doing more during the summer is going outside. I mean, it's kind of like I'm filming this video in my room, but that doesn't count. We'll start from after this. I should have filmed it outside in a park or something, but don't come at me for that. I am literally trying to rearrange one of the most difficult things to rearrange, which is habits, because I have to break down the bad, horrible habits that's stuck in my, what's it called? The amygdala. It's something about, I was reading something on, I am rambling. Let's move on to the next point. The next thing I want to stop doing is actually staying in front of a screen. So it depends what you want to say. Like the screen can be your laptop or your phone or anything, but for me it's mostly the TV and this device right here. It really be the damn phone sometimes because what do you mean, like that there's no reason for me to be awake until 5 a.m. in the morning when I'm not doing anything that's meaningful, that's going to add value to my life. Sometimes you just find yourself doom scrolling, and before you know it, it's already morning. And when you sit in front of the TV is made for long form content, and you just keep watching, and slowly but surely it starts eating hours away, and that is horrible. You don't want to be stuck in that loop. I don't want to be stuck in that loop, but somehow it seems like I am stuck in that loop. So that has definitely got to change, because it's not a habit we should keep up. And going into the second year of uni now, things are going to be different. Things are going to be more, I don't want to say more difficult, but I've got to put in a lot more effort to get things done, because now we're specializing and right now we're looking into things in depth. So we have to be prepared for whatever is going to meet us when we get there. Another habit that I really want to change is this nonchalantness towards reading. So reading is always been my hobby. Like, I would give my parents accolades for that. Since we were young, always bought books. I mean, you see a few books behind me here. Like, I have read all of them, but it's gotten to this point where I find reading exhausting. I can't find a better word to describe what that feeling is. Say you pick up a book, you flip through the first pages and you're like, no, I don't want to do this, and you find something else to do. I need to stop that. I need to actually read a lot more. It doesn't necessarily have to be academic work. Like, even though I've got to, prepare and review things for the modules that I'm going to have next year, I can actually look into a bit more fiction, maybe non-fiction. You know what I'm trying? I'm trying to actively read books. I'm starting with fiction, like thrillers. Oh my God, those are my best type of books. Crime thrillers. I've actually started a bit self-help book. I don't know if that helps anyone, but it's definitely really, really good and it's going quite well. I've given myself a challenge of trying to read 1 page a day, but I remember shortly when I set that challenge, I failed it the exact same day. And I remember just the night after when I was talking to one of my friends. But it's the thought of going back to it that counts though. When you're aware and you have to do what you need to do, I feel like that is a certain part of consistency. So don't beat yourself up, even if you forget for a day or two. As long as you go back to it, you're a good man. Another habit I'm trying to change is not using my free will enough. There's so much information out in the world that it's like, oof, it's alarming. I don't even know less than an inch of that. I need to be reading articles and topics that are literally out of my lines. I can pick up a book about the psychology of crocheting. I don't know if that's a real topic. Editor Naisha here. Apparently, psychology of crocheting turns out to be a real thing. Apparently, it affects your mental health and your cognitive health and things like that. So I kind of knew what I was saying. Anyways, back to the video. Or the art of things. Just random things, mate. Like your brain, the neuroplasty of the brain, how words impact your emotions. And I just feel like we're a bit ignorant, if I were to say. Or I am a bit ignorant. I would, yeah. Oof. Acceptance. One stage of growth is the acceptance. I'm no longer in denial, guys. I have accepted I am quite ignorant about a few things, but yeah, I think that's one thing to change. I don't know sometimes can be a valid answer, but when that is an answer for a very long time, then there's a problem. So we're going to try to change the I don't know to, oh, I'm actually looking at this and this is what I know and this is what I can say, but I'm not a professional. This is just my opinion. Clock it. It's going to get to that point, trust me. Hopefully, changing these habits can actually make me a lot more intentional about what I do and more aware, be more organized, and just have a better routine. And in a few years, not a few years, in a few weeks, let's hope, I hope that I'm more conscious of what I do with my time and I can actually start to see things for what they are. To be fair, I think I've actually changed a lot in the past 2 days. I have not watched, well, that is a lie. I have watched TV, but I have quite well limited the amount of time I spend. So if I'm not in my room, I'm outside. If I'm not outside, I'm doing something or I'm revising or I'm trying new hobbies. That is what I want to do as well. Like trying new hobbies, finding out what I actually like and what I don't like. First of all, we're going to try pottery, so stay tuned for whenever I do that because it's going to be really fun. And I hope to rekindle my reading spirit because what is reading if not imagining things? I am quite an avid writer. Nobody would probably think that, but I do write a lot. Not stories, just like thoughts and emotions. So if you guys want to follow my Substack, I'll just leave it right there. I've not really put that much on it because I'm not quite sure when it gets to a point of oversharing. Another thing I want to improve when I change these habits is reduce my screen time and the detachment from my phone. To be fair, my screen time has actually quite changed a lot. I'm gonna check it out now so you guys can see if I'm lying or not. But I feel like I've gotten to a point where I was gonna say I got to a point where it was like 2 hours a daily average, but now it's actually a lot more. It's 6 hours 36 minutes, so clearly a lot of work needs to be done still, and we're gonna do that work. We're gonna put in the work. At a point I took it down to 2 hours, but now it's clearly come back up. But it got to a point where sometimes I didn't even know where my phone was. My parents like, bro, have your phone on you all the time. Like, what is a phone if not something that's supposed to be handy to carry around? But I just had this sort of detachment with it, and that actually made me happy. I felt a lot more at peace. But well, today it's gone horribly wrong. Well, I will give myself the thoughts that I was doing some things. I mean, I had a Chinese lesson before. I was trying to edit a video, so there's a lot of excuses that I can give myself today. This is not a normal day. This is just today. Right now, during the summer, I'm currently working as well, and sometimes my schedule is actually quite busy. This is one of the most busiest week I've got. This is literally the only free day I've got today, and the rest of the days I'm working, but that does not mean that all my time and energy has to go towards that work. So I'm trying to make the days feel a lot more for me. You know, just making sure sometimes I romanticize the time that I've got. For example, listening to a podcast I want to listen to during the commute, or reading a book, or probably editing a video. I'll probably have to edit this video tomorrow on my way to work. These tiny habits definitely do make an impact, and if you or anyone else is feeling like, you know you're supposed to be doing something, but somehow you just find yourself derailing from that path, or you just find yourself doing the complete opposite, it's very normal. It's very normal. I feel like everyone at several different stages in their life go through that, and I am currently living that, so you've got visual proof, so don't worry and don't beat yourself up about it. As long as you can acknowledge that and you can be aware that that is what you're going through, if you decide you want to change and you have that resolve and you stick to it, I don't see why not. I don't see why you can't change. Sometimes the most difficult thing is accepting what is, and you've done that, so let's move on to the next stage. Yeah, so hopefully before the summer end I can be fully productive, be fully intentional, be more aware of my time, romanticize my time a lot, be more appreciative of what I've got, and just enjoy life, man. It's the summer after all. I'm supposed to have a rest. And yeah, I guess essentially this video is just to say, take the reins in your hand and have control of your life, mate. Period. I'll see you all in the next video. Adios, my friends. We should have a routine we do before the end of each video, and that would be a rap. Let me give you guys a freestyle. It's been Aisha.